West, there, I mean, there's parts of West Texas I think that have a unique beauty too.
Tumbleweeds.
Yeah. Well, like the prairie and the just the solitude and the stars. I mean, you
Yeah, I
know,
mean, you can't
bump
beat it
bump
at
bump bump deep in the heart of Texas. That all.
they say deep in the heart of Texas. This is like, everyone says we're like the twisted sister of the cities, like Dallas and San Antonio and all that. But
Yeah.
like I said, El Paso's like New Texaco. We got Mexico and then New Mexico. Like 5 minutes, I could go to New Mexico 5 minutes, and 5 minutes hit Mexico. So
Yeah.
state, two countries.
Yeah. Hey everyone, I'm Elisha Krause here at the PragerU HQ, and we don't have a fireside chat with our very own founder, Dennis Prager, this week, so we wanted to bring you a special sports edition. Yes, that's true. I just said sports edition of PragerU Live. And welcome champion boxer and author of When the Lights Go Out, From Survivor to Champion, David Niño Rodriguez. Welcome to PragerU Live, David.
Thank you for having me.
We're really excited to have you here. So we were just chit-chatting about your hometown, El Paso, Texas. And most Texas boys, I'm from southeastern Oklahoma, so Boomer Sooner, sorry. But I'm sure you're well aware of the Red River rivalry, but I'm pretty aware of Texas boys. And most Texas boys that I know are into football from a very young age. So can you please tell us about your journey to becoming not a football star, but instead of a boxing legend?
Well, yeah, that was. I mean, my dad really wanted me to play football, to be honest, and I was excelling at football. But the problem was with me was I was in trouble every day at school, and I was getting into fights. So the only place that welcomed me with open arms was the boxing gym, because I was just a kid that was always into juvenile behavior. I was skipping class, always a troublemaker, and the only place that I found discipline was in a boxing gym.
Hmm.
And when I started learning how to box and I started realizing how really good I was at it, every other sport took second place to it, because to me there was nothing like um, sending a man down to his destruction with one punch than running in for a touchdown in football or hitting a home run. Nothing compared to knocking somebody out, to be honest.
So at what age did you really just say, forget all these other sports, I'm doing boxing all the way?
I had a lot of trouble in junior high. I was in alternative classes. I was always in and out of school. I was a troublemaker, juvenile, and boxing, like I said, was my sanctuary. That was the only place I could go where I wouldn't be judged, where they actually took troublemakers in like me, and they shaped and changed us. And I became a really good fighter. I started sparring and fighting all the best fighters out of Mexico, all over the states, and it just took a life of its own. It was just I feel like boxing picked me. I didn't pick boxing, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
Just due to my rough and crazy lifestyle that I had as a kid.
So you're referencing that lifestyle in your book. You also talked about how you were bullied at a young age and how that impacted you. And now you speak a lot and advocate, against bullying, especially with youth. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I mean, when I was, I started at a very young age. I was 5 years old, and I got my butt kicked by a little girl on the playground. And when that happened, I came home, and it happened for a couple of weeks. She kept just beating the tar out of me. She was a lot bigger than me.
Yeah.
and I was only 5 years old, but I kept coming home, and I had a black eye, bloody nose, and there's only so many
Whoa.
times. There's only so many times you can say you fell off the merry-go-round, the swing set. So my dad said, he had enough of it, and he took me to the boxing gym, into the barrio, actually into the ghetto of El Paso, in the more poverty-stricken areas, because he wanted to toughen me up. So he took me there and left me there, and I learned how to fend for myself. And the next thing you know, I'm fighting amateur, and even though through those years, during my adolescence, I was a skinny kid. I wasn't a big kid. I always had the big kids from high school coming down to pick on me. They
Hmm.
heard I was a boxer. I didn't really grow into myself until I was after high school, and it was those years. Those were the shaping years of my life. Those were the real transforming years of my life. That being bullied all throughout my whole life. You can only kick a dog so much when it's down, and then when he gets up, it turns into a vicious dog, and that's what happened. And when I turned pro, I just turned into this, like a white Mike Tyson, man. I was knocking everybody out. I beat his first round knockout ratio. I mean, I had 25 first round knockouts. I believe he has like 21 or 22. I was just destroying people. I was just a vicious fighter. I'm not like that anymore. I've changed my ways. I've retired. I'm enjoying the good life now. So I don't want people to think that I'm still this crazy guy right now. But I learned a lot from boxing. Boxing taught me a lot, and it kept me out of jail.
So, what would be your advice to young people today then that are experiencing either physical or emotional bullying in school?
Take that and let it feed you into the outlet that you choose, whether it be music, whether it be self-defense, whatever it can be. You can't take it personal. Everyone gets bullied. I still get bullied. The kids that on cyberbullying, like I was on the radio show today this morning here in my hometown, and people were just saying hateful comments the whole way through, but I don't let it get to me. You have to have thick skin.
Hmm.
And I understand what kids are dealing with today, and it's cyberbullying. When I was growing up, we didn't have cyberbullying. We had, I got my butt kicked on the blacktop, and that was it. That's all she wrote. But nowadays, it's documented.
Hmm.
So kids have their phones, they record it, they send it out. So I would say today, the best thing I could say is don't. Suicides are up. Just know that it's shaping your character. You can get through this. You're a stronger person. It's only going to make you stronger. You'll be a great person after dealing with something like this. It made me become a heavyweight champion in boxing. I won 6 heavyweight champion belts. I was number 5 in the world. I did great things, all because I was bullied, and I was tormented. It was tragic. It was a horrible time in my life when I used to eat my lunch in the bathroom stall. Scared that I was getting my butt kicked by the kids looking for me. I could look under the bathroom stall and see them running around looking for me. It was a hard existence. But if they get through it and they pick some kind of outlet like music, whatever their passion is, comedy, acting, whatever it could be, and if they transform it and they transfer it to that, then they can be a great person and do great things in this world. It can only shape your character is what I'm trying to say. And they do need to, and really if they can't stick up for themselves and they don't feel that they're able to, they need to find a counselor and they need to find someone they can confide in.
Hmm. So, you survived a very brutal knife attack, and then after that, you had serious knee surgery. How did you fight back from recovering from those two things, particularly the attack that left, I read, hundreds of stitches in your face?
Yeah, I had 369 stitches in my throat and
Wow.
chin. It's right here. I don't know if you can see it. I'm growing the shadow, but it's right here. I don't know if you can see it.
Wow. So how did
Anyway,
you come back from that? I mean, it was
and
a
it was emotional. I have a lot of PTSD.
hmm,
What happened was I was walking out of a bar and I got attacked. Someone came behind me, slit my throat, bled out, lost consciousness. They stabbed my friend as well. I'm just making a very long story short. You can read about
hmm.
it in a book. You can read about it in when the lights go out. Um, it was hard emotionally. I was 36-0 at the time, getting ready for in line for the heavyweight championship of the world. I was in the top 10. And after that, I just wasn't the same fighter anymore. It was like it like emasculated me. It destroyed my character. I went back and tried to fight again on NBC against Darnell Wilson, and it was a fight that I was winning, and I got knocked out in the last 10 seconds of the last round.
Wow.
It was devastating. That was like salt on the wound. And to say that I got over it, I never got over it. I'm just getting through it. And I think that's what people need to understand. Sometimes you don't get over anything. It's just about how well you can navigate and get through it. You just have to get through it. And that's what I'm doing. I'm a living testimony to that I keep going. I keep striving. I don't stop. I wrote a book. How many boxers do you know come out of their retirement and write a book by themselves on their iPhone? I did. I wrote the whole damn thing on my iPhone. And I'm proud of that. I reinvented myself, and that's really what the book's about. It's kind of a soulful journey. It's a
Hmm.
soul journey into reinventing yourself and being humbled along the way. And I talk about my biggest defeats. I talk about my triumphs and trials and
Hmm.
how it shaped me and how it shaped my character.
Hmm. So you say that now you're living the good life. You've obviously hung up your boxing gloves. So, what has your life been like since you've decided to step outside of the ring?
Uh, I'm so used to I'll always be a fighter at heart.
Hmm.
I always get back in the ring. I watch boxing on HBO and I see some guys that are my sparring partners and I'm like, they're fighting for championship belts now. And I'm sitting here looking at them fighting. It's heartbreaking.
Hmm.
On the other hand, there's a sense of peace that comes with it. I feel more at peace. I'm relaxed. I'm able to enjoy things I wasn't able to enjoy before. Like I was always in training camp and there was no women, there was no socializing. There was just train, 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 train. And now I get to kind of just hang out with my friends and be who I want to be. And I'm learning the type of person I am too. I'm learning about David more, about
Hmm.
what do I like to enjoy. Writing the book for me was so therapeutic. It was more cathartic. I wasn't expecting any monetary value out of it. It was more of a therapeutic release.
Almost like
And
a
one,
journal or a diary that you're willing
yeah,
to share with the public.
that's exactly, yeah, that's basically why I wrote it. And It was just to release and just dump all the garbage I had from boxing. I was so bitter towards boxing. I hated boxing. I hated the people in the sport. I hated the politics. I mean, it was such a disgusting, it left such a disgusting and bitter taste in my mouth that I just kind of had to regurgitate it onto these papers for you all to read. So, it's kind of like, it was therapeutic, man. It was a good release. It was a cathartic release.
So you just mentioned politics. Now I think you're talking about the politics of boxing, but recently you've decided to become more vocal politically and have come out in support of President Trump. Why did you decide to make your political views known, specifically now and in this political climate?
Well, there's a tattoo right here on my forearm, and it says, "It's better to die on your feet than to live a life on your knees." Emiliano Zapata, he overthrew southern Mexico. And what that means is it's better to fight what you believe for what you believe in, because that's your last freedom. Mm-hmm. And I saw the freedoms of America getting stripped away. I was scared to death when Hillary Clinton was when they were pushing her, engineering her to be president. And I thought that it was going to be a hands down win for her, because I thought she was going to steal the election like she did from Bernie. But when Trump won, and I look at Trump as like a rogue president, I didn't see the Republicans nor the Democrats really backing him. Now the Republicans do, but I'm saying, like, at first he was just kind of himself. He went out there and said, "Hey, this is me. This is what I'm about. These are my policies." And I really think it struck a nerve with the American people. Mm-hmm. And it struck a nerve with me because I knew he wasn't controlled. He wasn't a puppet like the other politicians. And I know how controlled these politicians are. They use other people's money to fund their campaign, and they go off and then they owe favors afterwards. But this guy funded his own campaign, and I believed in everything he said about building a wall, about illegal immigration. I believe in repealing Obamacare. It's a travesty. I believe in stopping the TPP. I mean, everything that he stood for, I was 100% behind. So I'm not going to let people push me around and tell me what I can and can't believe in. Those are Trump is what I believe in. I believe everything he's trying to do, and I'm behind it 100%.
Do you feel like being vocal politically in support of the president has affected your career at all?
No, because I mean, I'm a boxer. I'm a fighter. What are people going to do? Fight me about it? I mean, seriously, like, I can go to a rally and I'm not worried. I'm not worried. I've had my neck slit open, man. I'm not worried about much. Believe me. It's not like, I've gotten in the ring with the biggest, baddest dudes in the world. Yeah. So to me, no one's going to tell me what I can and cannot believe in. And I back Trump 100%. And if people don't like it, you better deal with it. I'm dealing with their shenanigans. I'm watching them run around, people, mace people, do these hideous things to people, and they're calling us Nazis when they're doing this. It's insanity. So, I want to be a pillar of strength and let people know, hey, I got your back. I go and talk to people all the time that are bullied and being bullied in the schoolyard, this and that. But now Trump supporters are being bullied and have to be quiet about what they believe in, or they might lose their job, or they might get punched in the face. They can't have a bumper sticker on their truck or their car because they might get keyed, or they might get, they're scared of whatever might happen. Not me. I voice it loud and clear. I don't care. I'm a Mexican American too. So I have a lot of friends who are like, "Hey man, you didn't vote for Trump. We were going for Hillary, man." I'm like, get over it. Get over it. I believe in doing it legal. I believe in the legal system. You got to do it legally. I'm sorry you feel that way. I wish, we could take care of the illegals here, but unfortunately, I'd rather take care of the veterans. The veterans deserve it. And if you do it legally, hey, I'm all for it.
So you mentioned your Mexican American heritage, and you are currently living in El Paso, which we were talking about a little bit before we started the live today. And you said that you can actually out your window see the city of Juarez. So there is a border wall that separates you from Juarez, Mexico. Has that border wall improved security?
No, because people go through the tunneling systems. If you know anything about Mexico, it's like this. Let me break it down for you. There's tunneling systems. People bring the drugs through the tunnels. They don't go, the ones that they want to get popped, like the cartels are controlling. Let's say the cartels want certain shipments to get popped because they have deals cut in with our government. So they let certain semis get popped. The ones that don't get popped are going through the tunneling systems. Now, Trump needs to make sure that not only do we have a wall, because that's going to stop all the small peasants and immigrants that want to come here and look for jobs and just looking for a better life. That'll stop them. But we got to stop the drugs which are coming from the tunneling systems. Now, he needs to have some kind of technology that can detect tunneling, and then I'm all for it. But if he just builds a wall, that to me is going to be a waste of money. He has to have technological systems that can detect tunneling systems where all these big drugs, these Hummers with kilos, are just driving through and unloading. So me growing up on both sides of the border, I knew both sides of the story. You know what I mean? I know both sides, and I've seen it firsthand. So I know what goes on. And listen, the people that are coming here, they go by tunneling systems. They don't just the poor people come through, you know, over for where he wants to build the wall and all that. And besides that, there's already a wall here. You know, there's a wall here. It's been here since August of 2008. It's a big, ugly wall, but it's here, and it's in sections. I think it goes about 344 miles or something like that, and it's in sections. So there's already a wall. So basically, he's just expanding on a wall that's already here. I don't
Your
understand.
advice to the president, being a Mexican American that lives on the border, would be it can't just be the wall, but it needs to be upped security and technology in addition, because much like Israel has to deal with, you know, terrorists in the Gaza Strip, you know, smuggling people and weapons, etc. You're saying that drug cartels are doing the same thing, but
Well,
between
they make more money than the government itself. You don't think they have? Let's use common sense here. You don't think they have tunneling systems that are magnificent? Look how Chapo Guzman got out of prison. How did they do it? How did they make him escape? Through a tunnel with air conditioning. I mean, come on, it's obvious. And I know about, you know, when I was a kid, there was certain places where we would cross, where we would, you know, I don't want to go into that, but, you know, I was like in my teenage years doing all my shenanigans. But yeah, no, I mean, all my friends that live over there and come over here, they all know the systems. But I'm talking about the elaborate tunnels that are underground, and I'm talking bringing kilos and truckloads of this stuff. You know, it comes underground or by air. They have ways by air. So the ones that get popped that you hear about, you read about, oh, we made a big confiscation of all these drugs. Those are the ones that they're sacrificing.
So back to sports, our final question. And once again, thank you so much for your time today. But these days, there's a lot of pressure to, I guess, reduce competition among kids and give everyone trophies for just participation. So what are your thoughts on that trend, and what life lessons can you touch on did you learn from competing at a very young age, and then your amazing record of being a boxer?
I think it's a travesty. I think it's an embarrassment. Giving a kid a trophy for just participating is like, you know, it's okay to be last place. You got to have a reason to strive and win. You know, that's what that's what life's about. You know, if you just, and then it's going to teach them to go into a job and just show up to the job and not really even try to progress or get a promotion. Why? I mean, they just, you know what I'm saying? It's a mindset. You know, I've lost a few amateur fights and I've lost my pro fights, and they're humiliating, they're horrible, but the taste of defeat is very humbling, and in itself, it's a teacher. So losing, it shouldn't be a bad thing. It should be looked at as a teacher. The way I looked at it, when I lost, I said, okay, what did I do wrong? How do I improve? Because next time I want to win. So teaching these kids, oh, you just got to show up and you're a winner, is hogwash. It's crap. It's some kind of liberal mindset that it's a disease. It's a mental disease that they're pushing among us. And you know, I think it's like I said before, I'm going to use that word. It's a travesty that's happening to humanity. It needs to stop.
David, thank you so much for your time today. Everyone should be sure to check out David's book. It is available where bookstores are sold and on Amazon.com. We've linked it on this video. Thanks so much for joining us, David, and we hope to have you back soon. Once again, I'm Alicia Krause from the PragerU HQ, signing out.
All right.